Hello everyone, I'm Charlie Tolhurst and welcome to the latest edition of a new series on the Motormania, on Motormania on my YouTube channel today. Yes, this is a series all about cars and I'm going to be doing another info video today, guys. Yes, this is another video and today I'm going to be talking about this car here. This is a Mini Cooper S. Now, I'm not talking about the newer Cooper S. I'm going to save that for another video. I want to talk to you guys today about one of the reasons why I think the Mini Cooper S R53 is worth buying for one or two very good reasons. Now, the Mini Cooper S R53 was launched in 2000 and ceased production around 2006. Now, this was a run-of-the-middle Mini Cooper S, which was actually a very unique car in any way. This Mini Cooper S was actually built by BMW, who obviously built the later Minis, but also had a supercharger. Now, this car was very quick for the time. In fact, the engine on this thing was quite interesting. It had a 1.6 litre supercharged engine with 168 brake horsepower, a 0 to 60 time of less than 7 seconds, and a top speed of about 135 miles an hour. Now, you might think by today's standards, that's not very quick, but back then, this was a little pocket rocket. And in fact, now the newer Mini Cooper S's can do just over around 150 miles an hour. But obviously now the newer Mini Cooper S's feature turbocharged 2 litre engines. What makes this Mini Cooper S though very rare and very cherishable among buyers is the supercharged engine. Now, one of the reasons I want to do this video is to talk to you about what to look out for on these cars. Because with these cars, they are not the easiest ones to maintain. They're obviously not very popular now. They're quite rare in some cases across the country. But if you can get your hands on one of these, you'll be very lucky. Because a lot of people, can buy these cars for about £1,500, maybe even like less than £5,000. And have to do a lot of work to them. Now, what you want to do with a Mini Cooper S R53 is make sure, first of all, that you buy one in good condition. If you buy one where there is constant issues with the warning lights and, stuff like that, you will know that there's a problem with the car. Now, on Drive Tribe, Izzy Hammond, Richard Hammond's daughter, is doing up a Mini herself. She's actually modifying a Mini Cooper R53 that she brought, a Cooper S by the way, which is going to be using on the track. And you can see more of that on Drive Tribe, on that YouTube channel as well. There'll be a link in the description for the video, of course, on that one. But, of course, what I want to say is that, these cars are very modifiable and also restorational work may have to be carried out. Particularly, as I said, on the supercharger. Modifying anyway, you'll upgrade a supercharger, but the supercharger isn't the easiest thing to work on in the Mini. This car has a supercharger problem. The supercharger goes bang inside one of the housing mounters goes bang. The car may pack up. And you also want to make sure this car also has the older style speedometer. In Mini, speedometers used to always be on the middle of the dashboard, not next really in front of the driver. That's what's unique about this car. The speedometer's in a completely different place to where the normal dashboard is. So just be aware, it's usually, I think, just where the top of the radio is. Make sure that you check that your speedometer's working, and also that the engine warning lights are also in good nick as well. Make sure that they're not turning on, because if they do come on and they are like displaying orange or red arrows, that means that there is a potential issue with your engine warning light. But why are these cars so important? Why are these cars loved by buyers? Is because they're quick. These are fast little pocket rockets. And these are great little fun on track. If you're driving Brands Hatch track days, this is the type of car you're going to want to take on the track. Because it's light, it's got that go-kart handling that the original Minis had. And it's one of these Minis that's really, as I said, not spoken about enough. It's a very underrated car, as I said. So many people modify this car. They put like new sports exhaust on there. They whack new rear wings on the back. They also... even some people actually completely strip them out and put roll cages in there. They actually take these things racing. They homologate them for the classic Mini racing. So the R53 Mini Cooper S has definitely got a lot of character for what it deserves. And I think in general, if you could get one of these to drive, they're actually really good fun. I think that these are the last of the true great minis we had of today. Not one of the, like say, obviously the newer Cooper S's, a lot of them are automatic now. Manual gearboxes in these newer Cooper S's are not really being used. They're mainly automatics or dual clutch automatic gearbox that we're seeing the likes of BMW put in, like their flappy paddles and stuff. This was one of the last true minis to have a manual. One of the first old school Cooper S's that's got a manual gearbox. And honestly, this gearbox is so fun to use. And I think that these cars are just so cherishable. You know, like the sound of that supercharger, the fact that not many hot hatches ever had superchargers. Most of them use turbo, so this is even more reason why this car is unique. The BMW actually fitted an Axon supercharger to this car. I think the supercharger was like, you know, the superchargers, it's only a small little supercharger. It's not one of them big engines, like one of them big superchargers that you get on the Dodge Demon or something. It's not like a 2 litre supercharger. It's not like that. It's a small supercharger that they fitted into this car, and it delivers that whining sound, which is so iconic in superchargers. It just makes it so unique. And yeah, this Mini's iconic. I think that a lot of people definitely will be looking up to this car. If you maybe going on a collector's website, you know, this car will certainly be on your list. The R53 Mini Cooper S is a great fun to drive. And, you know, obviously they're owned by Germans, but they're British built. They're classic British built cars. Obviously, yeah, with a German owner now. But, you know, I think the R53 Mini Cooper S definitely has a place in the world of automotive classics. And for me personally, I think they're worth the money. You know, I know a lot of them are cheap. You may have to replace a lot of parts in the car. Rust, tyres, definitely. A lot of people do buy new tyres for these types of cars because obviously they want to make sure that they give them the maximum out grip possible, especially if you are taking these things to like track days at like Brands Hatch or like Donington Park, for example. Just make sure that you've got, you know, new tyres on this car. You know, maybe put some different tyres on. Check that the grooving's not going in the tyres. But in general, this car is an absolute icon. And for me personally, I think it's just such, before I wrap this video up, I feel like, you know, it's such an iconic car, this little Mini. You know, the R53 is such an iconic car for the brand. You know, the fact that this car was one of the first, like, modern day Cooper S's. It obviously was Chrysler BMW designs. And between 2005 and 6, they're the most reliable Minis, hopefully, that you can get. As I said, obviously, fuel consumption is around 33 mpg as well. They weren't the best in terms of mpg, but it was better than some cars of its type as well. And obviously, as well, you can get a lot of these Minis. Some of these Mini Cooper S R53s are actually got pretty decent mileage on them. Some have done like 70,000 miles, but you know, most of these cars probably can do over 140,000 miles. But if you get one that's really low mileage, it's actually a really good buy. And I think for a cheap car, for a car on a cheap budget, I think particularly like £1,000 to £5,000, some of them go for. I think they're a really good buy, and definitely you'll get a great car for the money. It's got good performance. It's fun to drive. For me, this Mini was one of the very first Cooper S's of the modern day generation that really wowed buyers. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you've got any questions, please drop me a comment and I'll be happy to answer it. That is my take on the Mini Cooper S R53. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Goodbye.